Today in the crypto space, we see negativity in the market. Bitcoin down to about 56,000. Ethereum right around that $2,400 mark. Also down approximately 2.5%, give or take. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are obviously following Bitcoin, but there's a bit of uncertainty here as we see some of these projects holding up and some of them coming down. A mix of green and red. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project. I want to focus on the Toncoin dip. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. We can see that the overall market cap continues to come down. But again, this is very interesting because as we see, every time we get an impulse to the downside, particularly beginning right into this level, we do see that the volume does come down. We get price coming, market cap falling down, volume is coming down. But look at the other way is when we see the market cap rise, we also see the trading volume rise. That means at this current moment, we're seeing divergence in the market cap versus trading volume. As the market cap is falling, you can see that the bulls, in fact, when they're responding with their bullish response, there's a lot more volume increase. Interesting moments right here for the market cap, and interesting moments here as we see the market participation slowly potentially pivot this downwards pressure potentially into positivity here as we see them basically come in and show us where the convictions are at. It does seem like in the short term we're getting a bit of a favor to the upside given volume. Now, when is it actually going to impact the market cap? Guys, we're going to have to pay attention here because we definitely could see a divergence happening at any moment. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Obviously, you see Bitcoin dripping down. We see Ethereum also dripping. In fact, Bitcoin is making that lower low, slightly lower low, while Ethereum is not doing that. It's pretty much coming down equally at the current moment, but if you look at the market structure, Ethereum is not making a lower low. Okay, not bad. Maybe a sign of a bit of strength, you know. Let's not grasp for straws at the current moment, but at the same time, we gotta, you know, call it what it is. It's not a lower low, so maybe it's not bad here. BNB also not making a lower low, but is it a bear flag where we get a continuation to the downside? Also very possible. We do see Solana kind of going sideways here. Got rejected at the previous high. Is it a form of negativity? Could we see Solana drip? It could definitely keep on falling down like we're seeing many others, XRP, and we see a few others coming down still. Tron still in that retracement. Toncoin, guys, today I want to talk about Toncoin. Although Toncoin is up 3.2%, guys, big picture, Toncoin is bleeding out. Okay, so we got to talk about this big picture as well. Short term, yes, it could be a bit of a bull trap. It could be a reversal. We'll talk about the chart in a second. I feel like the whole narrative, the whole Toncoin narrative has simmered down, and now emotions are out of the way, and we can actually focus on what we need to do here with regards to Toncoin positions. If we're building, if we're, you know, taking profit or whatever we're doing, but it's going to be very, very difficult right now at the current moment to be profitable unless you shorted the market, shorted Toncoin. Cardano rising slightly, a nice retracement, but still making lower lows and lower highs. And you can see the general market is pretty much doing the same thing. Look at all these fractals. They look exactly the same. Currently slow dripping, nothing major, no signs of reversals just yet. We see Litecoin still doing okay, slow grind to the upside, while the rest, including Caspa, is slowly dripping down 10% for the last 7 days, guys. That's a double-digit dip. That's an opportunity, perhaps. You know, should we be deploying capital? And I commit to deploying capital. I'm going to be committing to deploying capital once a week. My day is Friday. I'm going to be deploying capital every Friday, regardless of price, and at the same time reserving capital, additional capital for absolute red days. If we get a total beating dabbling in this market. I want to make sure that I can DCA even heavier on those days, but I am committing to dabbling to the market every Friday. And that way, it doesn't matter. I feel like every Friday up until at least the beginning of October, it would be a safe bet for me to slowly deploy and be buying the dip. So right now, I'm really on the hunt for where I should be deploying some capital, because we are approaching Friday and I want to have that decision done. There are some, projects that I'm interested, but I want to stay under a $100 million market cap. I want to get into a small cap, even a micro cap. Let's get into the $50 million zone. Even below, I'm happy with that. I'm looking for volatility. I'm looking for opportunity. I'm looking for a good fundamentals with great opportunity from a risk to reward ratio mindset. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. We do see the Matic now is converted to pull. The ticker has changed, guys. Be prepared. Understand that your Matic now needs to be migrated to pull. It's on a new chain, so that this is something you have to do. Now, if it's on exchanges, you have usually the exchange handles it for you. Make sure you look at their terms and about how they're going to be handling the Matic to pull migration. But if you're holding it on cold storage or even hot wallet or anything like that, you're going to have to find a bridge. You're going to have to bridge it over to pull. Now, I don't think there's any sense of urgency in the sense that it's going to expire or anything. You're going to lose your Matic tokens. It's not the case, but it's better to get it done sooner than later. So have that in your mindset, have that in your plan for the next little while if you are a Matic holder. What else do we have here? Always showing a bit of strength, render dripping. The market is, either going sideways or slow dripping to the downside. And of course, those present ourselves with lots of opportunity as far as creating structures and looking for setups and so on, but big picture setups, obviously. And this is what we're trying to do here, trying to find that, pivot point structure. Helium is doing very good. And the rest of the market still dripping, guys, still dripping. The majority of it is, dripping, going side. We have fast token, not doing much. It is doing great as far as the fractal here, but really it's 4.6% to the upside. Okay, let's put it this way. It's much better than a lot of other altcoins at the current moment. So we can't knock it. At least it's moving to the upside, not like Ondo, for example, dripping down. Ondo, I'm bullish on Ondo. I'll be deploying Ondo all day long. As long as I find a good horizontal, I'll be deploying a bit more. We're down approximately 13.4% in the last 7 days. Definitely an opportunity for sure. We're at 57 cents, 57 and a bit. These are opportunities, guys, so pay attention. What else do we have here? We have dips, and more dips. Let's move on, guys. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll be talking about the project of the day, which of course is definitely an opportunity if you want to look at it as, buy the rumor, sell the news. Maybe it's an opportunity where it becomes severely undervalued. And of course, Toncoin might be in that scenario where we see an undervalued state. Bitcoin at the current moment, in fact, is not giving us any signal. In fact, it's pretty much going sideways. Not giving us any signals means, don't trade. Don't trade. Keep it simple. Take it easy. Don't take the risks that are not necessary. Keep only calculated risk as an option. And at the end of the day, that's what will keep your portfolio intact, because when the market starts to show us the direction, you will definitely have that capital reserved. If you start playing games right now, what happens is you're going to give that capital to the market. All right, let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Having capital ready to go for when the market gives us a decision, a clear direction, is key at the current moment. In addition to that, you definitely want to have a bit of exposure, right? As we dip down, every single dip as we were coming down, I was deploying capital. Deployed. I'm happy with that. Now, big picture, I know a lot of people are worried. And the biggest worry is that we break below 52 and we come down to 44. Of course, I'm worried as well, right? I also have bags that I need to protect. The thing is that psychologically, I'm also prepared, right? If we do come down here, I will be deploying even more. That's what's the convictions that I have in this current market. And not only in the market, specifically as far as price action goes, but also in the cycle that we're in, the phase of the cycle, right? It's got to happen. It's got to happen or it's not going to happen. And what I'm trying to say here is that I've been preparing for this event, this main event, for a good while. And now is the time to see the market reverse. Could this be the biggest bear trap ever? And this is very possible. Remember, the market wants to induce the max pain as possible. And if this becomes a bear trap scenario where everybody's shorting and getting bearish, and shorts at the current moment are definitely increasing, we got an increase in shorts, about 6% increase in shorts on exchanges, which means that a lot of people are getting short, which means to me that this is a great opportunity to get people wrecked that are going short. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't come down more. It doesn't mean that, we don't come down to 44. I just feel like ultimately, imagine getting bearish trap, all those individuals that are remaining on the sidelines with too much stablecoin, entering short positions with lots of leverage and big position sizes. Ultimately, those individuals, might get a bit of pain. Now, imagine if we do get that reversal eventually, and all those individuals that are left on the sidelines become very emotional. I do feel like that would be a scenario to induce a bit of pain as everybody turns into this bearish stance. Look at the fear and greed. Obviously, we'll talk about fear and greed and all of these metrics tonight. Join me live at 8 p.m. EST. We'll talk about markets, and I'll talk about any projects that you're interested in. I take open requests on the live streams where we look at different charts and different projects. But at the current moment, what we're really focusing on is like, what's the direction of this market? And of course, Bitcoin has a huge influence, and so does Ethereum, but Bitcoin has a massive influence over the sentiment of the current market, which means that ultimately we can start breaking below and start moving down. But so far, we've been kind of sideways. If you follow this low and where it's currently at, it's still got to break below this low, and it's still got to break below this low. And this is a diagonal. You guys know that I hate diagonals. And this is one of the reasons, guys. This is because, okay, fine, we broke below this low. I get it. It happened. But what about this one? We got work to do. What about this one? We got work to do. And as this happens, the reality is all we're doing is predicting or trying to predict or take risk on whether it's going to break below or not. At any moment, we could get support, we could even come down to the wick and get support, and we could even hit the 52 and get support, because look at the node of volume based on this price action looking left. It could definitely happen where we do get a quick dip, nice bounce, and continue to the upside, and maybe even start another leg to the upside with regards to a bull run, right? Bitcoin hitting higher targets and altcoins getting their moment. However, I have no choice but to understand that it's very possible to get here given the current stance, even on the shorter term. The 200 daily, the price is below it. Not a good look. We're getting a red candle today. Lots of fear, uncertainty, and doubt today based on this red candle. But the reality is it's nothing like we haven't experienced in the past. We have experienced this so many times. Dips down and red candles, dips down and red candles, green candles, red candles. Look at all this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. And look at this and look at that. Look at all these little bottoms that basically get formed with price action that looks like this, right? So we need to be, pretty neutral at this point, in my opinion. I think that's very safe to be neutral. Now, I know I gave you my rant about this concept, in the previous video on Bitcoin, but ultimately Bitcoin is not giving us a signal. So we need to move on. We need to move on, start looking at other projects and other opportunities. All right, guys, let's take a look at Toncoin. What's going on with Toncoin? The sentiment in Toncoin is quite scary because, of course, given the lawsuit, given the current scenario with regards to the software itself, Telegram, that is, Telegram ultimately part of the whole ecosystem. Toncoin definitely was, one of those projects that potentially had a spot within the Telegram ecosystem. We expected it to be part of the Telegram ecosystem in the future, maybe form of payments or transactions, microtransactions, or whatever the case is. Ultimately, since the founder did get arrested and had its issues with the law, which guys, obviously do your research. When we talk about the law and we talk about politics and we talk about this and that, we have to tread very, very carefully. But ultimately, Toncoin and its algorithm and its, let's put it this way, its cryptography was put under pressure, legal pressure. And this is what the reaction was. Now, we have to understand cryptography in general applies to cryptocurrencies across the board. And what we're really thinking about is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt with regards to the legal implications of cryptography in general also. Now, this uncertainty, making lower lows like this and lower highs and dripping through volume gaps that are slowly being filled by volume, as you can see, because this needs to be updated, and being below the 200 daily starts to look pretty bad here, okay? And ultimately, you got to ask yourself, where's the majority of the liquidity? Where's the majority of the liquidity where the market, is definitely going to feel the most pain? And it's all the way down to about $2.85. And for me, given the current stance of Toncoin, the way it's position, I'm better off waiting for that to happen. And if it doesn't happen, guys, we'll wait for structure. We'll wait for something to happen into here that will give us a sign that maybe it's looking for the reversal. But as of now, we are making lower lows and lower highs. And not just that, we got volume. We got market confirmation that the market is expecting or is in participation of this sell-off. So if we got a lot of volume, we got a lot of market participation selling off, and we still have weakness in the chart suggesting that we can fall through this volume gap. Obviously, a few peaks and valleys along the way based on bottoms and tops on price action looking left. But all this price action looking left is psychological. The reality is there's not much volume into it. There's not much strength. There's not much emotion into it because there's not a lot of market participation. Very clearly shown here on the volume profile. So what could we expect? We could expect a continuation to the downside, even if we do get a bit of relief and get a pop to the upside. We can get rejected on the 200 daily and come down for another lower low. Let's take a look at the oscillators. Oscillators at the current moment, you can see, have basically gotten severely oversold, and the expansion was very clearly very strong. Now this one is a little weaker, and you can see that the momentum, the purple line, is slightly higher, which is good because could be the beginning of a divergence. Both expansions and purple line are definitely showing us divergence. Now the orange line, which is volatility, is currently oversold, which means that eventually we could go for an overbought, a response, and that means that we could get a bit of a pop to the upside. Every time we get overbought, we get a pop. You can see that we move to the upside. We've been oversold for a little while, dripping down. Do we get overbought finally and get maybe even if it's a lower high, it's okay. It's just an attempt, and it gives us more data to play with. If we make a lower high, we're coming down for a lower low, take profits, get short, whatever you got to do, because ultimately this is the trend that we're seeing, lower lows and lower highs. Now if you look at the actual trend oscillator, EMAs are also facing down with red histogram bars, and we're in the bearish control zone, something that a lot of altcoins currently are battling and trying to get into the bullish control zone, which is the top half of the oscillator. Currently we are trekking in the bottom half of the oscillator with no signs of bullish divergence or anything like that. EMA is open and facing down, so we can see that a continuation to the downside is super possible until we get divergence, which we're not getting much of it on trend, but we're getting a bit of it on momentum, as can be seen. And as long as it doesn't get invalidated, what I mean by that, as long as the purple line doesn't come down to this level, right, or lower than this level, and as long as the expansion doesn't come down to here as well, because so far the expansion's not tapering in, we're not seeing the expansion move up yet, we're still in the process of coming down, and so is this momentum line. Okay, so we got to be very careful here with Toncoin. Now if we go back to the price action, remember price action is king. There's two levels that I'm worried about. Let's update this TA because really, as this price action unfolded into here, we filled up the volume gap right into here, as you can see, based on all of this price action. So now this is the weak spot, and we'll continue tracking it as it keeps on coming down. And this is the zone that I'm worried about. And the fact is, even we definitely are falling through an empty space. We're still falling through that empty space. We're getting a bit of green in the short term. We're up approximately 2.5%, which is great. But what about if we do get rejected or something like this happens, where we come down for the lower low and then we continue dripping down to about $2.90? For me, that's the level of which I am willing to take more risk. Now, of course, I could be taking risk any moment now, as long as we see a structure that we can play, meaning we go sideways a little bit. I put a stop loss into that to, preserve my capital just in case we continue coming down. And if we get bullish divergence and we get some follow through, obviously I'll be happy to be taking profits at the next level of resistance. But if we do come down for another leg down, this would be considered, some sort of ABC structure, and come down to this level to induce the maximum amount of pain of all this liquidity that bought in at this level. A lot of people did, and it was a great entry for a lot of these people. They got a great entry. They were given great take profit opportunities, and all of a sudden we see Toncoin, based on the FUD, of course, and what's been happening in the news, we're definitely seeing it roll over and come to lower levels. Guys, patience is key here. I feel like Toncoin could be giving us a great entry opportunity down here, given the fact that Toncoin and Telegram could definitely overcome its issues and see Toncoin basically back to its former glory at previous highs. $8 it is. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.